Hello and welcome to day 19 of 30 Days of Doodles. Today we are doing some tea doodles. So we have a tea bag, boba tea, and a teapot. So let's start with our tea bag. So the first thing we're going to do is draw a square. From here we're going to taper our square, so starting at the bottom left hand corner, bring it up and in, and then do the same thing on the other side. And now we're going to add a little triangular piece out to the side to give it that three-dimensional look. So this is the side of the tea bag. And then we want to add the little piece of paper right there at the top that kind of connects it all together and that the string hangs from. So I just drew two vertical lines and then a point at the bottom, and then the top piece is a horizontal line that sits slightly above the top of our tea bag. And then we did a curly line with our little piece of paper on the end. So now we'll just go over all of our lines with that top piece of our tea bag. Make sure that that little box thing that we have is on top and that the horizontal line at the top of the tea bag doesn't run through it. So we'll just continue outlining this first before we add in the actual tea details. From here, I'm going to pick up my finer point pen, and we are going to add a wavy line across the front and the side of our tea bag to show that it is filled with tea, and then we will add some little dots and some little organic shapes inside. So I just make these very tiny dots, and then occasionally I'm adding in little smaller shapes. So some of them are more circular and some of them are square, just to kind of have that herbal looking blend inside of our tea bag. Moving on, we are going to draw a boba tea. So if you don't know what a boba tea is, it is like bubble tea. It's not exactly my favorite, but I know most people are crazy about it. So we're going to start off with this vertical rectangle, and then from the top we are tapering in towards the bottom. So the opposite of what we did with the tea bag to give it that coffee cup shape. And then I'm adding the rounded bottom and then a flat top for the lid, and I'm just making this very narrow rectangle on top that sticks out a little farther than the side of the cup. So here we're going to mark the center of our cup for our straw, and then it goes up and above and then down into the actual glass a little ways. So here you kind of have a choice. You can just draw your lines straight across where you want your tea to be. If you want to give it a more cartoon or doodly feel like I'm doing here, I am leaving a little bit of a gap between the tea that we're going to include in this and then the actual cup. And then the last step for actually drawing it is to add these little circles at the bottom for the boba. You don't want them just smashed together. They're just kind of in there floating around. So now we'll go over all of this with our pen and then finish it off by erasing all of our leftover guidelines, and then we'll be done with this one. So our last doodle for today is going to be a teapot, and we are going to start by drawing a half circle and then a arched bottom. Next we'll draw the spout, so we're just going to bring this almost half U shape up on the left hand side coming from the bottom of the pot, and then bring this one back down and connect it back to the pot. And then we're going to draw the lid, so just this little arch shape along the top with a handle. You could do a rectangular handle or something other than what I'm doing. I just used like a circular shape and then doubled it up to make it look a little thicker. And then you also need a handle on the back side of the teapot. So again, this one is kind of that U shape, and we're just going to draw that out, and then we're going to add some kind of like hand gripping places there. So you're just going to have two bumps on that side. And now we will go in and we'll outline all of our outlines, making sure that we aren't outlining that first shape that we made with the half circle all the way around on the spout side. We're just outlining the spout connected to the actual pot. The last thing I want to do is add some fine details with our fine point pen. So I'm going to add a line along the bottom of the teapot, a line right at the tip of the spout, and then a line around the lid. And then I'm going to add some little hash marks on the side to make it look like it's shiny. So that wraps up day 19. Be sure to be back here tomorrow for day 20. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.